What's up, wrestling fans? We have what a week coming up, man. Last night, Monday Night Raw was terrible. But, we've got Dynamite coming up tomorrow, Wednesday. And then we've got, AEW Dynamite Wednesday. And then we've got SmackDown, which I guess will really be the appetizer to Dynamite, or rather to Rampage, that takes place Friday, where we all expect some kind of changing of landscape or major debut to happen, some crazy stuff to go down. So this is a week that could really be an exciting time. And if you're new to the channel, I hope you hit the like button, share, subscribe, all that stuff, because I'm live all the time. I'm making videos all the time. We're always doing all this stuff right here on the Joe Cronin Show. So I hope you guys are here for that. And if you like a little bit of comedy mixed in with an insane person and talking about wrestling, then you're going to like this stuff. And then the non-wrestling stuff, of course. But also, Tyler Rust talks rumors Vince McMahon is mad at WWE NXT for losing. A lot of people talking about this, and I think he is mad. I think he kind of feels like, okay, you failed. And a lot of people really think that's definitely the case because, when NXT was killing it and doing really well, nobody said anything. In fact, Vince and them, they loved it. They thought it was great. And during that time when they were killing it, they were calling up people, and they were like, Kevin Owens was treated well. Sasha Banks pretty much was treated well. But then, it just started, they started not treating everybody that way. And then certainly once the TV stuff changed, that's when really everything changed, as we were worried it would. And then it did. We were worried this is how things were going to go. And then it did. It got worse and worse, and now it's just gone to full reset collapse mode. I mean, it's getting to the point where we're going to be looking at the 10-year Blu-ray of NXT, the Rise and Fall of NXT Blu-ray, coming out at some point, which is really, it's almost unbelievable to think how quickly this has deteriorated, because basically NXT was awesome since almost day one, when it became the NXT of Triple H and not the old, Florida Championship Wrestling type of thing. But although that produced a bunch of stars, you know what I mean? So you can say what you want, but that produced Lesnar and Batista and everybody, and Ambrose and Seth Rollins originally and stuff like that. We're talking about OVW as well, really. OVW produced a lot of those talents. So, I mean, what I think they should have is an OVW-like situation, an OVW place and an NXT place, where you can really melt together these two different styles. And I think the old adage and the old style works just as well as it always could, would, and has. So why not bring that back? Why not put a guy like Jim Cornette or somebody back, over at OVW. I don't know who owns OVW now. I think it was Al Snow, right, that owns OVW, unless Al Snow's gone. And maybe you could transition that. I don't know. But it's just sad to see NXT. We were basically like, man, they're on fire. AEW kind of put NXT out. It's hard for a lot of us to admit that. I think a lot of people want to blame it on WWE and Vince, and I know that that's a part of it. But let's be honest. If AEW did not exist, we would all still be raving about NXT and watching NXT. So effectively, I got to be honest, guys, this is something that we're not talking about a lot. We're talking more about how Vince ruined NXT and WWE ruined NXT, and that may be true, but the reason why Vince got his hands involved in it is because of AEW, honestly. And he says they're not competition, but he ruined his own show because of it. So, guys, I mean, yeah, NXT is in trouble a lot because of Vince and because of the WWE themselves, but the real reason they're done is because there's AEW, and that's where a lot of the people who watched NXT went to, and a lot of the people that watch NXT and AEW are saying, like, man, this is, I loved NXT for 6 years? I raved about it. We loved it. I raved about it. I was so marked out for this product. And they had one bad year here? They've had one bad year, 1.5 bad years, and it was during a pandemic. And this is what's happened? But either way, we have really good stuff coming up, man. So that's the good news there. And I just want to say really quickly, too, thank you to everybody who's been, using the new feature down below, man, that has been really cool of you guys. The thanks feature, which is like a super chat, but since this video isn't live, it doesn't happen live. You guys just do it, and it drops in the comments down below. You guys have been wicked cool with that, and I just want to make sure that, I let you guys know that some of the people that have been doing the thanks, thank you. They've been great. That's right. Now you can use the thanks button down below. It's friggin' awesome. You click on it. Boom. And then you can drop some love to the show. $2, $5, $10, whatever, $50. Be a psychopath, and I'll pin the top thanker down below. That's right. You're a thanker. Oh, it's got to be one of the best promos I've ever done right there, to be honest. Cool new feature. Thank you, YouTube. We've been suggesting it for 7 years. The top person who thanks, I'll just make sure you guys get pinned to the top of this video down below if you want to. Give me your comments about, did you think AEW killed NXT? Or was it more Vince McMahon and WWE? Or was it both? We all kind of know it was a little bit of everything, right? And NXT's not dead, by the way. We're saying killed it, and we feel like it's been killed, but it's, could it get out of the hole? Maybe. It could get out of the hole, but so couldn't Brock Turner, and he's. Oh, okay, that was wrong. I'm sorry. Well, one of the other things we had is the WWE Raw viewership. We talked about Raw the other day, obviously enough. It was a good Lord. Last night was a psycho review. I mean, to be honest, everything went wrong in my life yesterday. Not everything. I mean, like little things, right? Went wrong. Then we couldn't get the stream right because I had the bit rate wrong, which is my fault. But Raw rating went up. Obviously not anything good. It's still at a terrible level. For this week's show, the first hour drew 1.9. Then they went 1.8. Then they went a little lower. So it's up 3.74% from last week's 1.7. So this week, episode drew a 857. They say they say an average rating of 0.55. So these are the trends for the last few weeks. Obviously, the big Raw with Cena, 1.9, almost got to 2 million. Then it's been all downhill from here, as I said it would be, as anybody would say it would be with a logical brain. 1.9 million, that's all they could muster with Cena. Back down to 1.8, 1.8, 1.7, and 1.8 again. And I think SummerSlam, this could be the nail. The nail in the coffin at this point. But, I mean, Raw, not bad holding up here, because they were dropping down to the 1.7, 1.6, and 1.5 category territory. And Raw really could have been in major trouble if they'd continue slipping to 1.6, 1.5, 1.4, and 1.3. They really would be in trouble. So this Cena has breathed new life a little bit to get these ratings to sort of hover back above water, and look somewhat, I don't know, not catastrophic, I guess. I mean, this is not good. And obviously, we've fallen since the 2.1 million days, and obviously SmackDown is still bringing in 2.5. SmackDown's still bringing in 2 million, 2.5 million, and ideally for WWE, in my opinion, in the year 2021, I'd like to see a 3 million rating. I'd like to see at least a 3 million rating from these guys. That's people sometimes they say, what would make you happy, Joe? What would you be happy with? I'd be really happy. I'd feel pretty good about wrestling if they could draw 3 million. Every show draws 3 million or more, I mean, somewhere in between, 3 million to 5 million would be ideal. Amazingly ideal. That'd be wonderful. That would be a very huge and solid audience. It'd be wonderful to have that. Now, obviously, we're not going to have the heydays, maybe. It would be a once-in-a-lifetime or a couple times in a lifetime situation where WWE or wrestling could be the number one thing or one of the top 10 things in the country, right? It's just like Star Trek, right? Star Trek did this. The original series didn't do so well originally, right? And then it created fans over time. But it didn't do well originally. And then, Star Trek The Next Generation started in 1987, And it didn't do so well for the first couple of years. It did okay. Did all right. And then it started doing amazing. And then it became a household thing. And then Star Trek: The Next Generation became the top 10 show watched in the country during its last few seasons. And that is a once-in-a-lifetime thing for a franchise. To be the top 5, top 10 thing watched in the country for a couple of years is a wonderful thing. And the WWE really did that in the late 90s and in the early 2000s. They did it. They were one of the hottest things. Everybody knew about it. You brought up Star Trek when they got hot in 92, 91, 93. Everybody knew what you're talking about. Everybody knew. You know? Everybody knew what Ninja Turtles was. Everybody knew what Star Trek was. And now if you bring up WWE and wrestling, it's like people still kind of know what it is. Like when you bring it up, they know. They go, oh, yeah. But it's not the same. It's the same way as like in 1998, people knew what Star Trek was. You were, or like 2005, you were like, hey, Star Trek. And you're like, yeah, Star Trek. Yeah, I never really, I don't know. I know, obviously, of Star. You know, that's great. Brand recognition like that is great. WWE has that. They do have that brand recognition that most people recognize wrestling and recognize WWE, you know, but it's not they don't have good brand recognition, and they're certainly not one of the hot things to be watching in the country. They're not even one of the mildly popular, it's unfortunate that that's where it is. Where will it go? I don't know. We'll find out. Anyway, guys, leave your comments down below. I'll be looking at them. I hope you guys subscribe if you're new. More videos to come. And, of course, I have my Patreon stuff coming out later. So look for that on patreon.com/Joe Cronin Show. The Patreon links to everything that I do down below here. Expand your description box. You'll see all my links down below. Go to them. Follow me everywhere. Sub to me everywhere. Do whatever you want. Do whatever you can. And let me know what you think. And keep watching the channel right now. I've got thousands and thousands of videos since 2012. I mean, you can just sift through everything, including all the thousands of podcasts that are exclusive to Patreon if you're a patron of $1, $2, $5, $10, $20, whatever it is. And we'll get the producers list out there today. And it's been updated, though, in the description box down below if you look at the producers list. Here's some other videos that you might have missed. And the person that is the top thanker, I will make sure to pin your comment. Thank you in advance. Big ones out.